Saturday morning, and that means it's time to catch up on the local and statewide high school sports scene. Welcome to High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1. Now, here are your hosts, Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And good Saturday morning to you. Better late than never. It's High School Sports Talk brought to you by VirginiaPreps.com and Larry King Law. Engineer next, you call 757-INJURED for Larry King. I am Matt Hatfield, and sitting to the right of me in a red shirt is the coach.
I'm the coach, Ed Young.
How are you, sir?
I feel good. I hear a lot of whistles. I hear squeaking. I hear coaches yelling. I hear players yelling and ones. What do we got going on today?
We are broadcasting to you live this morning up until noon from the Jane P. Batten Center on the campus of Virginia Wesleyan University. It's the 19th annual Blue Marlin Team Camp. As I said, I'm Matt Hatfield. Got the coach, Ed Young, here as well. We got Al, we got Jimmy, we got Noah, we got Thomas back in our Virginia Beach studios. And we are here to talk high school sports with you. As always, the phone lines are open at 757-687-9494 on the Trinity and Trilogy Tattoo Hotline. Give us a call at 757-687-9494. We'll be talking at 11 a.m. Dave Macedo, the head men's basketball coach of Virginia Wesleyan University, with us here on ESPN Radio 94.1. We're also hoping to have a couple other coaches and surprise guests through the morning. We'll have maybe Jeremy Jordan of Grafton on later here on the program. So anything you want to talk about in the world of sports, especially high school sports? That's our main theme and topic. So keep it tuned right here, and you can hit us up on Twitter, too, at HS Sports Talk 941. That's HS Sports Talk 941. Tell you this is a team camp with 46 teams total, varsity and junior varsity of high school basketball squads around the Hampton Roads area and the state of Virginia. We got 3 courts in front of us, Ed, as we're watching on Court 1 right now. The Grassfield Grizzlies out of Chesapeake playing the Grafton Clippers from Yorktown in the Bay Rivers District. Court 2, we got Tallwood, the Lions out of Virginia Beach playing the Titans of Lake Taylor out of Norfolk with their new head coach, Derek Yogi Edwards. Remember, we had Kenny Brown in studio back on June the 1st when he announced his retirement as head basketball coach after nearly 20 years with the Titans in Norfolk. And they've won a state championship as recent as March of 2018. And then on Court 3, we got Bayside, the Marlins out of Virginia Beach, playing the Wilson Presidents out of Portsmouth, Woodrow Wilson. Also, there's a CMAC. There's a side gym with 2 courts that have going on as we speak. West Point out of the Tidewater District, Single A West Point, playing Great Bridge out of Chesapeake, and First Colonial out of Virginia Beach, the school that our man Jimmy roots for, because he went there, playing Menchville out of Newport News, led by Lamont Struthers, the former NBA player who starred at CNU. So tons and tons of basketball action. We have games until 10 o'clock tonight when they'll be wrapping it up, and then the tournament play starts at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So lots and lots of action. And in fact, if you're wondering how our buddy Coach Ed Young's Warriors have done over the years, folks, I've been coming to this camp since 2007. Ed Young's Warriors have won the most championships in the Wesleyan team camp since 07. They won it in 2008, 2011, and 2012. A couple other schools have won it 2 times each since then. Western Branch back-to-back champs in the Blue Division, and Green Run was back-to-back champs in 2015 and 2016. So we'll see if one of them can tie your, I guess we can say, modern-day record, since I wasn't here before 2007. Unfortunately, a couple of close losses for your Warriors last night to Portsmouth Christian and to Wise out of the D.C., Maryland area, who I understand has a sophomore guard with an offer from Rhode Island who is here. Had a good game against you, and then another guard who is supposed to be a ranked player, potentially, who was not here. And you were not here last night.
And I was not here last night, so I claim nothing. I will probably see a game or 2 today before I have to take care of some other business. But team camp is great. It's an opportunity to keep playing under good game conditions. You're keeping score. You got referees. You're going at it. I like it in terms of playing a lot of younger kids, JV move-ups, and then some kids that were varsity performers last year, maybe didn't get a whole lot of time, really weren't in the limelight, so to speak. Now they get a chance to be in the limelight because, in our case, we've lost 4 starters from last year and 2 other kids that had a ton of time off the bench. So we need a lot of kids to step up and show they can play that role. So A lot of places have team camp. To me, this is one of the absolute best. 46 teams tells you that. Teams from outside the state tells you that, because you're not coming to a poor team camp from outside the state. So this is absolutely one of the best. After this, it goes into August. We're getting ready to go into a dead period when fall practice starts. There's a 10-day period there where no other teams can do anything. So that's where we're at.
Now, real quickly, let me ask you about that, because there's a couple of team camps going on in the area during that dead period. Old Dominion's having one and Norfolk State's having one. But I guess they're allowed to still have that and teams participate, although depending on what school district and city you're in, there's some regulations, I understand. So.
Well, somebody didn't do their homework. I looked at the rule book the other day, Rule 27-7, Virginia High School League, dead period time. They amended the rule 2 years ago. You can do nothing, including team camp. Which I disagree with.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Because
yes.
Tom Dolan spoke to one of the local ADs who told that specific person that you can, but each school division and district has their own rules. And I do know there's been some people in Chesapeake and Virginia Beach who have met with some people and said either you can or you can't do it, and there's some things, that stipulations that have been put into effect.
Well, the dead period is not handled by individual schools. If the Virginia High School League says there's a dead period, everybody abides by it.
I recognize that, but if Tom Dolan says it's okay, isn't he with the VHSL?
Right, and it should be okay. I don't know if the VHSL says it's okay. I don't see any school districts saying no, don't do it. They're going to allow it.
You know Tom Dolan. Why don't you text him, get him on the show for us?
Well, he should be in here because there is. I was told point blank they changed the rule. You can't do anything.
Make those magic texting fingers of your work there, Coach.
I should go to my Twitter account and get them.
You don't have a Twitter account.
Oh, that's right.
We're going to change that though. I heard.
Rumor has it that I will be on Twitter before
2020?
2020 is over.
All right.
That's
and you're not talking about the TV show 2020.
No, that's a rumor I was told. So,
all right.
I don't really deal a lot of rumors.
Well, the last rumor we had on the show that you went out to Sin City was factual. So maybe these rumors we got good sources putting out these rumors. I think Jimmy's the one starting rumors.
Well, if it's coming from Jimmy, you can guarantee it's false.
I don't know. He knows people in high places and low places. So.
Because he's been in many of those.
I know. It is High School Sports Talk presented by VirginiaPreps.com here on ESPN Radio 94.1. As always, you can give us a call at 757-687-9494. That's 757-687-9494. And we also might squeeze in a little bit of football. I know football is getting ready to get going hot and heavy here starting next week with practices. I caught up with one of our favorites a little while ago over at Western Branch's football team camp, and that's Tommy Riemann from Lansdowne. So if we can squeeze it in today, we will do so. If we can't today, it'll definitely be on next Saturday. So I know you'll love to hear from Coach Riemann, whose Eagles have advanced in the postseason. And we also had on last night here on the 757 at 6 from the Virginia Wesleyan team camp, Dwight Robinson, reigning state champs of the Lansdowne boys basketball program, and Keith Honore of the two-time state champion Potomac Panthers. Actually, they've won 3, but 2 under his reign as head coach. So if you missed those interviews, go to the podcast page on ESPNRadio941.com to hear those. Say if you're a Lansdowne basketball fan, Potomac basketball fan, or even our friends out in the western part of the state who hit us up on Twitter last night and wanted to hear those interviews. They're archived. We know people are listening all over the state, be it on our ESPNRadio941.com streaming page or on our front page right there on VirginiaPreps.com, where we have the show archived each and every week. It is one of Ed's favorite websites in the world.
I have no problem against that. It is very informative, very informative. So if you want that information, that's where you're going.
We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to chat with Trevor Dorsey, head basketball coach at Peninsula Catholic, who had a classic championship game in the Fall League at the Ben Moore Fall League last year at the Boo Williams Sportsplex. With the coach, Ed Young, I'm Matt Hatfield. It's High School Sports Talk right here from Virginia Wesleyan's basketball team camp. More to do right here on ESPN Radio 94.1.
This is High School Sports Talk presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1.
As we talk to you live from the Virginia Wesleyan basketball team camp, the 19th annual Blue Marlin team camp here at Virginia Wesleyan, going on all weekend long. Tournament play tomorrow. We got games going past 9 o'clock tonight. With the coach, Ed Young, I am Matt Hatfield. And Ed, we have a special guest with us. He is the head basketball coach at Peninsula Catholic, going into year 3 at the helm. You can follow him on Twitter at @TDorsey_MU. That is Trevor Dorsey, whose squad beat yours in a very classic Ben Moore Fall League championship game. Coach, thanks for stopping by. How's your summer going?
Appreciate you, Matt. Busy, but we wouldn't have it any other way.
What brought you out here to Virginia Wesleyan for this team camp? There's nearly 50 schools here. Yours is one of them. Got a mixture of public and private. Got a mixture of schools from the 757 here in Hampton Roads and outside the area. And I imagine the competition.
Definitely, and that's what drives it. The competition here is great. We've been here all 3 years that I've been a head coach, and it's really good competition. Gets us ready for the season, much like the fall league did. The mix of public private, we like that because our guys want to play the best. And this is the place to do it. I mean, what do you say, over 50 teams? So yeah.
Trevor, now how many camps you guys playing in this summer?
So far this summer, we did the Heritage Summer League. We've been to Marshall University's team camp, and now we're here. And I guess our next step after here is probably going to be the Benmore Fall League again.
The Fall League.
Yeah.
Now, of course, coaches use these type of leagues, camps, for all various reasons. Veteran team coach might do it one way. A young team coach might say, well, we got to do this. Right. In your mindset, as you're coming into this coming season, what are you looking for in fixing your team up?
So, and you were familiar with us last year. We lost 6 seniors off of last year's team and 3 really good guards. We have seven transfers this year. So my thought process is we got to play as much as we can to get that chemistry down. We have a lot of talent, but talent doesn't win ball games. They got to learn to play with each other. Everybody's been coached by somebody else, so they got to really come in. And our system's a little bit different, maybe, than what they've played in the past. I want to get familiar with them, and I want them to be familiar with me.
That the most amount of seniors you've lost in your tenure? I mean,
yeah.
It's half your roster, right?
It was half the roster, and 4 of them were starters. So I lost 4 starters, and you're talking about 1,000. All 3 of them are 1,000-point guys: Titus Lawrence, A.J. Baker, and Malachi Banks. All 3 of which are at the next level. And it's tough to replace that.
And for those that don't know, where there's that one of them at Catholic University, right?
Titus is at Catholic University, and AJ and Malachi are at Allen University in Columbia, South Carolina. So very proud of all 3 of them, and they've kind of set the bar for our program. We've had 6 guys the last 2 years go to the next level. I've got Lamar Claiborne was at Ferrum, and he's now at Fayetteville Tech. Cody Payton's at Fayetteville Tech, and Justice Smith is at Pitt Community College in Greenville. So we're proud, and we're building.
Chatting with Trevor Dorsey, the head basketball coach of the Peninsula Catholic Knights, our guest here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1, as we talk to you from the Jane P. Batten Center on the campus of Virginia Wesleyan University for the 19th Annual Blue Marlin Team Camp. And, Coach, for those that aren't familiar with you, tell us more about your background. We know you're the head coach at Peninsula Catholic, but where you went to school, grew up, and how you got to PC.
So I'm a West Virginia guy at heart. I was born in Huntington, West Virginia, went to Marshall University. Got both my bachelor's and master's degree there, and I got into coaching. I was 19 years old when I got my first coaching job, and it was a high school youth league. And at 19, you think you know everything because you just got done with your high school career. But in reality, I knew nothing. I moved to this area about 11 years ago. I got my first job in this area at Portsmouth Catholic Middle School. I was the head girls and boys basketball coach there for 3 years. And I was hired by Ricky Epps, the former Peninsula Catholic coach, as an assistant. Was with him for 3 years. He moved on, and I took the head coaching job 3 years ago. And, I'm proud to be here. Hope to be here a long time.
Good deal.
So, it's funny. I'm sitting here listening to your background. I started coaching at 19. There was a time I was coaching boys and girls in Pennsylvania because the girls played in the fall. And the guys played in winter, so you could do both. And then when I got the job in Virginia at Suffolk High School, my first job here, I interviewed for a teaching job in head basketball. When the interview was over, I was offered athletic director, head boys basketball, head tennis, and JV girls. And I said, well, I can't do JV girls because the boys, we play same season. No, girls play in the fall here, so you can do both if you want the job, right? Yeah. So I said yes because I wanted the job.
They left out head custodian? They didn't give you that job too?
Well, that goes without saying. No matter what job you take, you're going to do custodian, kitchen worker, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you got to have many traits.
You got to be ready for that. Trevor, as we looking at this situation now, you mentioned about some of your kids moving on to the next level. And in our business, if we can get that opportunity for kids to go, that is tremendous because it says something about their work ethic, and maybe we're doing something right because somebody else wants our kids. What do you, coming up right now, you have any kids that look like they're next level? And in saying that, go over some of the kids that you have. I know it's early, but some of the kids that people can look forward to seeing play this year.
So yeah, I mean, my goal always is to help kids, reach their goals and reach their potential, and that's the next level. I tell them all the time, though, my main job is I want you to be ready to go to college and become employable. Okay, I need you to be, good citizens in the community. Basketball is great, but that's going to stop. But basketball is also a tool that can take you a lot of places. Right now, I mean, we've got a lot of talent. I got Chris Brown from Jamestown. Trayvon Green came from Jamestown. We just got Styles Gardner from Tab, who can flat out fill it up from anywhere. And the best part about these kids is they're all young. Styles is a rising sophomore. Chris is a rising junior, and so is Trey. Jaden Curry's coming back as a point guard. He was with me last year, but, it was really a learning year for him last year because he was behind Titus, and, a great guy to learn from. But those guys, those guys all have a chance to be really, really good. Trey and Chris are the prototypical 6'4" wing guys with a lot of length, versatile play, facing the basket. The way we run our offense, the back to the basket days for me are kind of over. That we're going to space the floor, and if you're on the floor, you're going to be able to handle the ball. You're going to be able to shoot the ball. I want you to be able to put the ball on the floor. And at the next level, that makes you that much more attractive. You don't want to be pigeonholed into one thing. And those kids, they all got a chance. The Jamestown kids were coached by Coach Bridgeforth. He did a great job with them. And obviously Styles was Coach Baggett at Tab, been there forever, done a good job there.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you brought someone over on your staff this year, was with Cox for a while, Kevin Hopkins. So he was part of that region championship team a couple years ago at Cox?
He has been a huge help. He was at Cox for 12 years, and I kid with him all the time because I live in Virginia Beach, and I make that drive over to PC all the time, and he was actually going the opposite way. So it's funny that we connect now, but he's great. And he got a wealth of experience under Bobby Wolf, who's a fantastic coach. And Hopkins really has done a great job with these kids that I have now. I mean, they've really related to him well. He works them hard. He did a lot of our off-season individual stuff, and I couldn't be happier to have him. Yeah,
one of those guys definitely goes the extra mile. A couple more minutes here with Trevor Dorsey, head basketball coach of the Peninsula Catholic Knights, our guest here on High School Sports Talk, right here on ESPN Radio 94.1, brought to you by VirginiaPreps.com as we chat to you from the Virginia Wesleyan team camp here, the 19th annual Blue Marlin team camp. Games going on all day and all weekend long. We got Grafton playing in front of us against Grassfield. We have Tallwood taking on Lake Taylor on court 2, and then court 3 over to us on the left, where we're broadcasting up top here on the second level. You have Bayside playing Woodrow Wilson. And, Coach, got some good competition to face yesterday with Jamestown and Lakeland. What have you seen so far? This appears to me, and Ed can probably chime in too, one of the deepest, best team camps I've seen ever, be it here or anywhere.
It is. Out of the 5 games that we play in this pool play, each one is a challenge. Lakeland, top to bottom, is pretty darn good. They just got done winning the Heritage Summer League. Jamestown's got some decent talent, and they got a new coach. It'll be interesting. They should do pretty well in the Bay River. We just played Heritage, and they're athletic. And we got our next 2, Indian River and Bayside, are both athletic teams that look like they have some good size. So it's going to challenge us. And then everybody moves to Sunday, and, our goal is to whatever bracket we end up in, playing 3 or 4 games Sunday and getting a trophy out of the deal.
Yeah, try to win a championship, much like you guys did last year at the Fall League, Ed.
Yep. Trevor, a question I want to go back in on, and a lot of times this comes up between the public school and the private schools. The private schools have, a lot of times they get transfers in. Public schools, we don't. How, as you as a private school coach, you do get the opportunity for kids coming into your program. How do you kind of keep that in order so that you have allegiance to your kids that are already there? Mm-hmm. Obviously, any coach, and I'm included, I'll say this publicly, if I have a chance to get good kids in, I definitely would want to do that also. How do you do it to keep your sanity? Because you made a great point earlier about kids coming in and they're coached from different people. Now you've got to kind of get them back into hey, this is what we do here. Right. Get along under your program and with your kids there. How do you handle all that?
Well, the way it is now, and I'm sure it's different from 10, 15 years ago, the numbers in and out of both places are unbelievable. The whole reclass deal and all that. I try not to get into that stuff. I know that I can only speak to where I am. Peninsula Catholic, when kids come in, most of the time it's looking for different opportunities, both athletically and academically. PC, 100% of the Peninsula Catholic senior class is accepted to college every year. And that's a big deal for parents to hear because, like I said, my job is to make them become good citizens and employable. And, the thing is, once they step in the doors of PC, they're a PC kid. So it doesn't matter where you come from. You're going to get a fantastic opportunity. As a coach, it's my job to do the best I can with everybody I have and put, obviously, the best program on the floor. I know there's a lot of debate out there. I stay away from that. I can only speak to my experience. But at PC, the academic opportunities that kids get in the smaller classroom size, we only have 270 kids. So each class, 15 to 20 kids, and it's a lot of individual attention. And some kids maybe get lost in the shuffle at a bigger school. And that's both maybe on the court and in the classroom. And we're able, we're lucky and able to bring in kids and give them opportunities they may have not had elsewhere.
Well, in your league, the TCIS, we talked about this in the tournament last year. There are no off nights. I mean, you looked at you'd play one night at Cape Henry with DeJour Rucker. You'd play one night who's at Marshall. Norfolk Collegiate with Jordan Battle. Mark Williams, who's now departed the league after being a stud at Norfolk Academy, now at IMG Academy. I mean, every team, it seems like it has a league, and that's true whether it be public or private. I mean, now it's just, I imagine the scouting reports are very detailed and keeps you up at night.
Well, yeah, everything, it all keeps me up at night. As soon as I see somebody, I'm like, man, what are we going to do? But, I mean, I can tell you, like, our schedule this year, we go Cape, Walsingham, Stewart, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And, they've all got a lot of size and talent every single year. There are no off nights. I hated to see Mark leave because he was so good for the conference. I mean, to have a guy like that in the league. Efton Reed from Stewart is another guy that, he's turned into he's going to be a monster player. There is really just so much talent. Bishop Sullivan won the league last year, the league tournament, I should say. And I'm sure Ricky will have good talent over there. But there really is, you can't take a night off. And unfortunately, last year we got out to a great start. And I think I had lack of depth issues. I think maybe we lost our legs a little bit. And unfortunately, we came into games not as focused as we needed to be towards the end of the season.
We'll get you out on this, and we appreciate the time. I'm sure we'll get you back here on High School Sports Talk later on in the summer or the fall here, talking with Trevor Dorsey, head basketball coach at Peninsula Catholic here at Virginia Wesleyan's team camp on ESPN Radio 94.1. Ed and I have talked a lot about over the months and weeks and now years the changes in the VHSL with all the postseason and realignment and so forth. Give us your perspective on how it's gone in the private school side of things with the VISA and your league. There doesn't seem to be as many changes with private schools, which you like that? Or
well, I mean, so the way we're set, it's Division 1, 2, and 3, and we're Division 2, and you take the top 12, and there's rankings. My deal is sometimes I don't know where those rankings come from. But all we can do is go win games. You win games, our goal, Peninsula Catholic has not been to the state tournament since 2007. In order to do that, we got to win games. And the first step is to make the TCIS tournament. All 8 teams that made the TCIS tournament last year made the state tournament at whatever level, D1, 2, or 3. Walsingham made the state semifinals in the Division 3 level. And it's tough at our level. We're competing with Miller and Blue Ridge, who are kind of boarding schools and getting kids from all over the country. But if you win games, it's going to take care of itself. If we can get to the state tournament and be in that top 12 ranking, and you really need a good start to do that. And then, of course, if we have a good TCIS, we play 10 conference games. If you win your fair share of those, you're going to be in good shape. I can only worry about things I can control.
Sure.
And so what I can control is our performance and how many games we win.
You see there any changes, though, coming? I haven't heard any whispers about it, because every year somebody's changing with the VHSL. I don't hear them as much as this.
I don't hear them, and honestly, I tell my athletic director, unless it really is happening, don't even tell me, because I don't want to be worried about something that's not going to happen. So, there's changes happening all the time, and again, if I had to worry about it every day, it'd just be more gray hair. So I'm only going to worry about what I can control.
We'll try to keep the gray hairs off. We're talking with Trevor Dorsey. Thank you so much for coming on the program here. Best of luck the rest of the way in the team camp, and hopefully another championship trophy.
I hope so. Appreciate you, Matt. Appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Good luck to you.
Trevor Dorsey, our guest here on High School Sports Talk, brought to you by VirginiaPreps.com from the Blue Marlin Team Camp, the 19th annual here on ESPN Radio 94.1. We'll take a timeout. Back with more here on High School Sports Talk with the coach, Ed Young. We got Dave Macedo around the corner. It's your sports connection, local, high school, college, pro. We have it all right here on
ESPN Radio 94.1.
Now back to high school sports talk on ESPN Radio 94.1, presented by VirginiaPreps.com. Here's Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Welcome back to high school sports talk here Saturday morning. You hear a lot of noise in the background. You're going to hear some sneakers squeaking, some referee whistles blown. We're at the Virginia Wesleyan team camp. I'm not sure what year it is. It's been going on for a while. 46 teams here from all over the 757. We got some Richmond area teams. Got some teams from out of state. So if you want to get some basketball out of your system to come and watch, come here and see the 19th annual Virginia Wesleyan basketball camp. You're going to see a lot of things. 3 games going on right now. In front of me, we also have the back gym called the CMAC. There's a couple games going on there. A lot of the JV teams are playing there. So you got a chance to get out and see it. Right now we're going to take a little diversion from basketball and talk a little bit of football. My partner, Matt Hatfield, recently spoke with Lansdowne coach and legend in everybody's mind, Tommy Riemann. Let's hear what Tommy had to say here on ESPN Radio 94.1.
All right, here with the head football coach of the Lansdowne Eagles, Tommy Riemann, as his teams get ready for the season here at the Western Branch camp. Coach, coming off a couple of nice playoff runs the last 2 years, and you got a lot of guys back. You got to feel excited about this year.
I'm very excited. We've had a great off season. Doing a lot of work in different environments, and what I mean by that is just working on us and then working with teams to keep motivation in there in the off season, and that's something that we're very excited about to get this season started.
Well, what I noticed a couple years ago when you guys won the beach, you had that great senior leadership with Joseph White and Brent Stukes, and you played some of the young guys too, like a Denzel Lowry, like a Luke Mahaskett. Tell us about the maturation you've seen from those guys.
I tell you what, this may be the best group I've had. And when I say that, that's with respect, but at the same time, it's the growth and maturity. And this group of skilled kids and the linemen are as good as I've ever been around. Now it's about the grooming.
Yeah.
And when they will reach that point. And so we have a great schedule, and that's why we've done a lot of work this off season for those very talented young players that we have to shine.
Well, I think I made the comment to you and to your assistant Marcus Williams back at your showcase day that you've had some name guys and some good guys in the trenches, including Denzel. This might be the biggest group of linemen you've had.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's the biggest group, but then it's more raw athleticism. Okay, and those are big words, but then these guys got it, and that's what I'm talking about. That time they now have to spend that time to do those techniques and those drills that they do at college showcases and camps, and so we're excited. This is a big year at Lansdowne, and I'm just hoping that all this work right here they're doing it pays off.
There's been quite a bit of development over the years, all the quarterbacks you've had. You've got another one here in Chris Price. What have you seen from him this off season?
Well, let me tell you what. I've talked to 15 schools who are academic, Ivy Leaguers, and all of that, and I said Chris Price is the first dual-threat quarterback I've had that got a 4.0 and a 1400 on the SAT. And so therefore, how Harvard and Yale and all these big boys
opens all those doors.
Yes,
yeah.
he does.
How does that rub off on his teammates? Is that
leadership?
Okay.
If he has that discipline, it comes across. Anybody that can handle me at that position, I go to my grave for.
Sure.
Because he is that wonderful.
Last two for you, thank you for your time. What's the biggest question or thing you and your coaches are wanting to find out as you go from July to August with this football team, whether it be offense, defense, or just in general? What are the things you guys are wanting to find out about this group?
Very specific technique learning. Okay? And those are not just words, because when they are young like they are, they got to learn it and they got to be taught. But then in environments like this and the practices we've had, makes it easier when you're now individual at practice that you can now do this. You can work on those skills. Except for in these emotional parts, then it helps. Yeah. And you can see it grow. So, it's all excitement at Lansdowne.
And lastly, we mentioned a couple nice playoff runs for the last 2 years. I think a few years ago people were hunting different schools of beats. Now you guys are one of the schools people are hunting because they know the pieces you have. How have your guys, have you seen that camaraderie as you go into this year with this group? What have you seen?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. This group have had Oscar Smith, Indian River, Hampton, Norview, Norcom, Bishop Sullivan. We've been a traveling off-season program.
A lot of different styles, too. So that's got to help you for when the playoffs come, right?
Yes. And then the most important thing is that we want to work with everybody. You can't say, well, you're the best. Well, at least we can work with you. And some of it rub off.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're in for a treat to see Coach Reeman's Eagles on Friday nights this year. Thank you so much. We'll be around.
God bless. Thank you.
Buddy. Yep,
All
right. All right, that was the head football coach of the Lansdowne Eagles, Tommy Reeman, over at the Western Branch Football Camp. It's High School Sports Talk presented by VirginiaPreps.com as we talk to you live from the 19th Annual Blue Marlin Team Camp at Virginia Wesleyan University. Ed, Lansdowne figures to be once again in the mix. They're coming off a basketball state championship. Football team has some key pieces, as you heard Coach Reeman right there. I think the Beach, yet again, Ocean Lakes is coming off a 10-0 season. Lansdowne was 10-0 2 years ago, regular season. We'll say it again, nobody's going to go 10-0 and watch it be a Lansdowne on Ocean Lakes. And I dare say everybody's kind of told me this offseason the team to beat is Salem. That being said, their first game of the year is against Lansdowne, who's done pretty well in recent years against Salem.
Yeah, I don't see anybody in the Beach going undefeated. It's too strong.
I agree, and then we'll both be wrong. Somebody will go to it. Might be somebody even talking about, like, watch a Bayside do it or somebody,
or Kellum.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Kellum will do it, but, it could happen. It just doesn't seem like it'll happen because your feeling is there's more parity in that district as opposed to the Eastern, which has been dominated by Lake Taylor, the Southeastern, which has been dominated by Oscar Smith for years, until last year when Indian River dominated the Peninsula, where Hampton and Phoebus have usually been the heavyweights, although 1 year Woodset had a 10-0 season.
Well, to be undefeated, football only plays 10 games. Basketball 22 plus playoffs, whatever. Yes, you have to be talented. I think that's prerequisite number one. You have to be talented. But really right behind that is you got to have a lot of luck. Things got to go your way. A couple of calls kind of go your way. I'm not saying referees are cheating for you, but the call kind of goes your way. It's a lot of things when it goes undefeated. Plus, the more you're undefeated, the more pressure's on you. Because of, okay, now we want to be the first team to beat them. And sometimes kids, in their nature, don't take things as serious as they should, don't stay focused as they should. All of a sudden somebody comes up and beats you that really shouldn't have. But first and foremost, you have to be talented, and there are some very talented teams in the Beach.
Coming up next, we've got Dave Macedo, the head men's basketball coach at Virginia Wesleyan University, right here from the Blue Marlin Team Camp. It's High School Sports Talk presented by VirginiaPreps.com, and it's on ESPN Radio 94.1.
Recapping another busy week of prep sports, it's High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1.
And welcome back to High School Sports Talk presented by VirginiaPreps.com and Larry King Law here on ESPN Radio 94.1. Matt Hatfield with the coach Ed Young as we talk to you live from the 19th Annual Blue Marlin Basketball Team Camp at Virginia Wesleyan University. And now joining us is the head men's basketball coach at Virginia Wesleyan, a national champion, a guy that has 408 victories in his 19 seasons, 5 ODAC titles. We're joined now by Dave Macedo here on ESPN Radio 94.1. Coach, thank you for having us out here, and another great team camp with you guys.
Absolutely, and thanks for always giving us the stage for our team camp. This is a great event, and you two both are first class in so many ways.
Well, let me start there. You got the 400th win this past year. I know the end result for the season wasn't what you'd hoped for. You won a national championship. You've been to the Final Four, so that's always the goal for you once you've been there. Nothing less than that is probably, I wouldn't say acceptable, but you want more. However, getting that win, what did that mean to you get to that milestone?
Well, I guess it's just, a lot of memories from former assistants, former players, and, I really it wasn't something I was aiming to do, and kind of caught up or snuck up on us by surprise, and then my kids actually told me about it, so it was pretty cool. But at the end of the day, like you said, there's a lot bigger goals and a lot more team goals that we kind of stress. When
you got here, you're going on your 20th season, correct? Coming up?
Yes.
Did you envision that you'd be at this place 20 seasons? And how has the school, you've gone from college to university just a couple years ago, you've had changes in the president title, the athletic director titles, but how has your program changed over that time?
Well, hopefully it's remained a model of consistency. I think that's a big measuring stick for us is, how we judge ourselves and trying to be the most consistent program in the country year in and year out, and always be knocking on doors and competing for championships. like you said, last season was just that, last season, and we didn't really live up to that standard. And that's good motivation heading into our off season to do something about it. But the school itself is just continues to be a great place to spend 4 years, and really excited about its growth, and looking forward to the future with the leadership we have.
Of course, now Dave, as a high school coach myself, when I first came to the area, Virginia Wesleyan, came over and watched some games. I always heard it was like one of the last places you consider to go. It was not the facility it is now, hard to get in the door of some of the better players in the area. Really tough. No fault of the coaching staff. Longtime veteran coach, a tremendous guy, Don Forsythe, I think he's here. At that time, it was just a different environment. Now, seeing the growth of this place, especially in the 20 years it's done here, to me, I'm amazed. And you know me, I'm going to tell it like it is.
Yes, sir.
The job you have done here is beyond amazing. In your mindset when you first came here, what did you feel? Maybe give me a couple things that you said, okay, in X amount of time we have to do these things to kind of get to this point, let alone win a national title.
Well, I would say the first thing is try to just outwork everyone in sight. And we tried to look at the most successful programs, especially in Virginia, that we could steal things from and model our behavior after, or get the kids that they had. And, back in the day, Coach Wallum, he was a rival who became a great friend over at CNU, and he had that kind of program. And, that was something that we wanted to be. So I thought we just worked hard. We chipped away, and then we started getting those kind of players. And, the old saying holds true. I think, better players or better people, better Marlins. And that's what we were able to get. And then we kind of just built from there. And then, once you get to the top, the toughest part has always been to have that standard and stay there. And I thought that we lost a little of our culture, as honest as I can get with you the last couple of years, and we have to get that back and that edge to us of doing things a little bit better in every aspect of the program. So that's something we've really tried to do this off season when adding some of the right pieces. I think we got a real good vibe, and I think it's just the hard work and having the right people and right players around us.
Now, I hear a lot of times parents will say, my son's got to get a D1 scholarship. My son's got to get a D1 scholarship. Everybody in the world needs a D1 scholarship. And I always tell people, well, there's a lot of really tremendous schools, Division II, Division III.
Sure.
Oh, Division III. Oh, they can't go to Division III. They don't get a scholarship. So misguided. Explain how the recruiting goes for Division III. You don't have to explain to me how great of an opportunity it is for Division III, especially a place like Wesleyan. I see that. This is a better opportunity right here than a lot of Division I's that I don't want to mention on the air. But I'm just saying, how does the recruiting work? And when you go out and go after a youngster, like what things can a Division III put on the table for somebody, especially in your situation here?
Sure. Well, I think it starts with the head coach and the relationships that you build with the parents and the student athlete, the potential student athlete. And I think it's about your program, the stability in it, the tradition, maybe the winning. And just like everyone else, we're selling ourselves, we're selling the school, we're selling the opportunity maybe to play right away and come away with a great degree in 4 years, and hopefully be prepared, to go out and achieve success and really, be part of something special. I think at any level it's like that, and I think for us, we try to get the guys that want to be part of big-time basketball at a small level, and we've been successful in getting some of those guys and building around them, and then they enjoy their experience. And we want everyone to come through this program to have loved putting on the Marlin jersey, and hopefully, just like this week, and I'm getting to see my alums everywhere as I walk around. They're coming through the door, just visiting, and a lot of them are hitting us up to work it. They all want to get a little paycheck, and it's just great to be around those guys.
And they won't get a paycheck if they do work, so I have to make sure I let them know. Times are tough.
Yeah, I see a lot of the former Marlin greats. We're chatting with the head men's basketball coach of the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins here, Dave Macedo. 400-plus victories, the national championship in 2006, national finalist in 2007, and as recent as 2015, making it to Division III Final Four. Our guest here on ESPN Radio 94.1. It's high school sports talk broadcasting to you live this morning from the 19th annual Blue Marlin Team Camp. In front of us right now, we have higher level playing Jamestown, Lakeland playing Heritage, Peninsula Catholic against Indian River, and then 2 games in the CMAC with Wise versus Woodbridge at Gatley taking on Godwin. And again, these games going on until about 10 o'clock tonight. Tournament play on Sunday. And, Coach, if I'm not mistaken, 46 total teams?
Yeah, that's correct.
Highest ever, right?
Highest ever. Nick Doyle and DeJuan Tucker, Chris Teasley, some of my assistants, just did a great job. You know, they deserve all the credit here. And our guys are the engine behind it, you know, their work and, you know, just the way they conduct themselves and make this a first-class event for everyone. I think it's about servicing the customer and, you know, the high school coaches, just the relationships we had when we want to do right by everyone and just have them enjoy their experience and get what they want out of this team camp. And I'm looking forward to watching Nasman River.
Hey, before we turn to this year's squad for the Marlins and the ODAC in general, how vital is this setting, not just from recruiting purposes, but you talk about relationships, building that with coaches that are veteran coaches like an Ed Young or a new coach. It could be a Chris Brown, Derek Yogi Edwards at Lake Taylor. How important is it for it to be visible and then see you be able to touch you and communicate, connect with you?
I think it's very important. I think I don't leave the gym much. I'm watching their teams. You know, just having an honest conversation. I think that's what coaches want. And I think they're here to get better, and we want to make sure they you know, achieve that goal and get out of it what they set forth in Fridays, you know, coming here. But it's all about relationships, and I think people who know me know I'm a straight shooter and hopefully very humble and you know, a lot of work left to be done and maybe look at how we can make this event better for everyone.
And a great point for here, Dave, is 46 teams. Not just from the area, from all over. So now you know who's bringing up sometimes a lot of these kids as the parents. So now you got a chance to have parents on this campus who probably never have been and maybe never would have been if it weren't for the camp. That's priceless to be able to have that, because there's no doubt a handful of these parents, when they come here, are going to say, wow, I didn't know this camp was this nice, facility was this nice, people this common. We might have to look into this. That is there's no price tag you can put on it.
No, it's really a nice asset that we have here, and I think the parents, you know, they appreciate that and get a chance to see what our school's all about and how special it is in so many ways. I mean, I'm just very passionate about being a Marlin.
Let's chat a bit about the returnees for 2019-20, Coach. Hard to believe it's going to be 2020 next year.
I know.
We've been doing this for over almost 20 years now. The guys you got coming back, and the new faces, and if you can share on the air the story you told us this morning about, I don't know if you can say the name on the air or not, but the newcomers, a young man you got from Georgia, and how you found out about this young man. It's a really fascinating story.
Well, you know, we have 14 players back in uniform, and we have a really good vibe there, and some returning all-conference guys. Obviously, like everyone, you need to stay healthy. We need to get better this offseason. And that's our goal, you know, to play our brand much better and much more complete. But I like our chemistry. I really wanted to, you know, take this off season to build a team and now really try to evaluate and play to our strengths. And then we've added 7 new pieces coming in. So we got some guys that I think have had nice high school careers. We have 1 transfer coming in. Young man you're talking about, young man out of Georgia. We really don't get too many kids like that, but you know, Miles Wallace is a point guard coming in from Georgia. He's a really impressive player on and off the court, and he'll be a incoming freshman for us. But you know, we went home one night. I turned on the TV and I saw IMG Academy playing Holy Spirit Prep, and we just got a chance to watch the point guard. And there's so many big time players in that game, you know, that you know, just caught our eye. But then here's this little point guard who, you know, just keeps doing things the right way and then just kind of makes some noise, and it's under the radar, and his recruitment wasn't real high. And lo and behold, about a week later, I got an email from him. And I think we just hopped all over it. My assistant did a great job of setting up a visit. He flew up about a week later, and then it took us about 2.5 weeks to get all his paperwork, his application, his financial aid award. And then, you know, he committed to us about 3 weeks later, and just a great story. And he's been up a couple times this summer, and, you know, he worked our half-day camp this week and then stayed for the weekend.
An amazing story. And, Ed, they get him. They also got, I believe, coming in Zamar Slade from Surrey, all-state first-team performer. So the Marlins continue to bring in big-time talent. Yeah, we do. And, you know, Jordan Crump out of Highland Springs, Brandon Klein out of Bishop Sullivan. You know, we got Kai Lockout out of Oscar Smith. Yeah. So a lot of guys that I think have really good potential. You know, now we have a lot of guys back, so it's going to be very competitive. And then we have 1 transfer coming in from in-league
from Emory and Henry, Daniel Spencer, and he's just a special player.
Leading scorer back, Lamont Stewart out of Norview?
We do, and hopefully Lamont, he's got to get healthy now. He had some off-season surgery, but I think his timetable is right where we need it to be, and hopefully he'll keep rehabbing strong.
A couple more minutes here with Dave Macedo, head men's basketball coach of the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins. Our guest here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1 as we chat to you live from the 19th Annual Blue Marlin Team Camp. Matt Hatfield here alongside the coach, Ed Young.
When are you guys allowed to do, when's your first official practice?
October 15th.
15th, first playing date?
November 9th this year, a little sooner.
Oh, it's a lot earlier, right. And anybody on schedule, teams to look out for other than obviously always tough ODAC?
Yeah, and you just said it. They're always tough ODAC, and that's a real challenge in itself. But I would say that on non-conference schedule has always got to be really strong if we want to have a chance of getting that large bids. The way it works now at the Division III level. Last year, our strength of schedule was second in the South region, even though we didn't win against some of those teams. You have to have it strong, so we'll always play some of the big state schools, Mary Washington's, the Salisbury Universities, the Christopher Newports are on our schedule. We have some of the better, I think, Conference USA teams, William Peace, Pfeiffer, and then we'll kind of go to a tournament this year up in Pennsylvania, up at Albright College, and up in Reading, Pennsylvania, and that'll be a good test for us as well.
Of course, the battle with CNU. I mean, that's one. If there's no other game people see, you got to come and see Wesleyan CNU because it's local.
Well,
kids know everybody, but it's a high energy, high level game, and both teams put on a show. I mean, it's just the place is packed. Just a great atmosphere for those kind of games. And as a high school coach and a fan, I'm glad that rival keeps going.
Well, thank you. John does a great job over there. Their kids play really hard, and they've had some great success as of late. So we'll look forward to that. They got us the last few times, actually, and we need to really find a way to get back to playing our winning brand.
Well, pretty rare to have two nationally recognized programs at the Division III level in our own backyard. And I think Ed will speak to this. Two programs that could beat some Division IIs and maybe even a Division I out there.
No question.
For sure with what you guys have done and over there at CNU as well. Dave, thank you so much as always for letting us come out here for the team camp. We look forward to the season, maybe doing the show out here on a Saturday or the weeknight show on the 757 at 6. So always a pleasure, and best of luck this year with the Marlins and in the future.
Same here, guys, and thank you for all you do, especially in the local area. You guys are first class, set the standard high.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, David.
Dave Macedo, our guest here, the head men's basketball coach of the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins, here with us on ESPN Radio 94.1. 400-plus victories, a national championship, and multiple Final Four appearances, 2015 the most recent one. We'll take a timeout. We've got Derek Yogi Edwards of Lake Taylor coming up next. Then we have Jeremy Jordan of the Grafton Clippers. It's High School Sports Talk brought to you by VirginiaPreps.com on Ed Young's favorite radio station. What is it?
I told you before, and I'm going to tell you again. ESPN Radio 94.1.
This is High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1.
Thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1 from the 19th Annual Blue Marlin Basketball Team Camp on the campus of Virginia Wesleyan University. Matt Hatfield here alongside the coach Ed Young from Nansemond River. And Ed, we have a special guest with us. He is the new head basketball coach of the Lake Taylor Titans, who won a state championship back in 2018 in Class 4 with that terrific trio of Darion Sebron, Joe Bryant, Jalen Jordan leading the way along with the Washington Twins, Tyrone and Tyler. He's been in the Lake Taylor program with Kenny Brown for many years. They made the state semis this past year, and he has now been promoted from assistant to head coach. We say good morning and congrats to Derek Yogi Edwards. Coach, how's it feel to be the head man now?
Thank y'all for having me. When I was assistant, I never came on shows like that, so I guess that's a good feeling. Yeah,
so you got to break into the media aspect of it, I guess, and deal with some of that. You were the behind-the-scenes guy with Coach Brown. I guess let's begin there. What drew you to basketball? Because you played for Coach Brown, correct?
Yeah, I played for Coach Brown, and I never thought I'd be a coach, but it just happened.
What got you into coaching when you were done playing? What was it? We hear a lot of guys say it was an injury, or I realized I was going to make money. What got you into it?
Kind of Coach Brown asked me to come help him. So it went from I'm just helping once a week to Now it's every day. Now it's summer. Now I'm his assistant.
Well, and you've been very much influential in the Norfolk community with a lot of kids, not just Lake Taylor kids, but helping them out, getting them an opportunity also with the Norfolk Knights travel program. When did you know, though, that, Norfolk, what did I say? Norfolk Titans. Norfolk Titans AAU program, excuse me there. When did you know, Coach, that this was something I want to do all the time?
Probably about 8 years ago when I just started being around. And then Coach Brown always allowed me to do stuff, like allowed me to coach at the Virginia Wesleyan camps and Norfolk State camps and all the camps. So after that, then I kind of realized I was kind of okay at it. So.
We're chatting with Derek Yogi Edwards, head basketball coach of the Lake Taylor Titans out of Norfolk. Our guest here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1 from the 19th annual Blue Marlin Team Camp. Ed?
Well, I got to ask the question because I don't know. Why the nickname Yogi? I know you've been asking a million times. It's the only time I'm going to ask you. I'm never going to say it again. And let our listeners out there know why.
When I was younger, I used to watch Yogi Bear, the cartoon. And then my brother kind of said, "Oh, your name Yogi?" And we kind of went with it.
So it was from the cartoon, all right.
Yeah. From the cartoon, which is not a bad cartoon.
Yeah.
Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. That's not a picnic baskets. I remember it distinctly.
Yeah, I was a kid. I was watching.
And the bad thing is they don't have those good cartoons anymore.
Yeah.
The cartoons now scare me. So when I want to watch a good Looney Tune because I need it, especially after a loss, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
Coach, I got to ask you, you're taking over a very familiar program because you've been on the seat. Kenny's allowed you to do some things that really – a lot of times head coaches have too much control. They don't let assistants do things. Assistants feel like I want to step on anybody's toes. And then all of a sudden when it's your job, you're kind of like, what do I do now? I don't have that feeling with you. You've known the kids. You've been there. Kenny's allowed you to do things.
Yeah.
The program success speaks for itself. But now, coming in, what are some things that you want to have your fingerprint on that, okay, I'm not necessarily going to change everything in mass, but what are some things that you have to put your fingerprint on that we may see over a period of time?
My fingerprints kind of already been on the program. I was kind of just a little behind the scenes with this stuff. So some of the stuff that we've been doing, Coach Brown always allowed me to do it. So nothing really would change on that.
A lot of the similar stuff, sometimes you take over somebody, they might have been in a man-to-man coach. Somebody coming in might be a zone coach, so to speak, X and O-wise. So basically X and O-wise, it'll be pretty much the same.
Yeah, it probably would be pretty much the same because, like I said, Coach Brown did an excellent job at allowing me to put my system in, to just allow me to grow as a assistant coach. Because sometimes a lot of head coaches don't let their assistants do stuff.
To control. And, of course, now the league you're in, especially having been a former Eastern District coach at Norview years ago, night in, night out, it's a battle. But, again, you've been behind the scenes. You know a lot. I think a strength for you, I don't know you personally, but I think a strength that I've heard and that I kind of see in scouting is one of your biggest strengths is the relationships you build with the kids. And I don't think it's just Lake Taylor kids in essence. I think you've got a good handle on the Norfolk kids. But I know you're going to kind of – now, when you move up from that second chair, so to speak, or third chair, you never lose a game. But when you're in that head chair now and things don't go right, you're going to hear it. But how do you look forward to now calling the shots, especially going against the Norfolk teams and probably going against kids that you've helped get better?
Yeah, when you the assistant coach, it's like being the backup quarterback. You always the best quarterback. But now, since I be the head coach, I have to take that. Like, whatever happened, the losses, the wins on the kids, the losses on me, I understand that. As far as going against some of the kids that I've been training, just hopefully they have a bad night versus me. Hopefully they don't come in the game and say, "Coach, I'm gonna get buckets on you today." Hopefully they have a bad night versus me. Hopefully.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Coach. You're keeping most of the staff intact. I know Tyrann Matthews is still on the staff, Brett Jones, and I believe Coach Brown is still going to be involved with the program, right?
Yeah, I don't really think anything broken with the staff. I mean, we spend time like everybody here today. So I don't think that broken. There was no need for me to go get a whole new staff. Nothing broken.
Well, see, Ed was trying real hard to get the Lake Taylor Secrets. I don't know why. He's in Class 5 and you're in Class 4, so he doesn't need them at all, does he? He's not going to play you.
There's no secret.
No, I don't want no secret. I'll take a couple of them doggone players, though. I know that much. Well, I need some more physical kids. I'll take a couple of them.
Well, let's talk about one of them. One of them that he wants, but he can't have, Zyrell Mitchell, a fantastic player for you guys. I know people watched him last year and said, like, he's a mini Sebron in a way. There he is now at NC State. Tell us about him. He was a first-team all-Tidewater pick, and he's one of the best in the state.
Yeah, I've been knowing Zyrell since he was probably maybe about 6 years old or something. I went to school with his mom and dad. So
okay.
I've been knowing him, but he have to take it to another level now. And the scout report gonna have his name circled, so he got to figure out a way to play through all the scouts and all that good stuff.
What's the best part of his game? I mean, he can do a little bit of everything, right?
I think his best part of his game is his IQ. He kind of know when to and when not to. Like, sometimes people say, like, oh, that was a bad shot for Zyrell. Not really a bad shot for him. He kind of take his good shots. I mean, it might look a little off to somebody else, but he kind of take his shots. I think his IQ.
Now, Yogi, your background, I'm not sure we've gone over his background, where he played high school ball and all that.
Late Teller under Coach Brown.
All right, so you played for Coach. Because my comment to you, as you're coming in new as a head coach, not new in the program and all that, besides Coach Brown, because you did play with him, any other influences coaching-wise in your life from back in the day as a player all the way up to now?
Yeah, Coach, I'm one of the coaches that kind of look at everything. Like, I could be looking at a game right now, and the way a coach talk to a player, or the way a coach talk to a referee, or an inbound play or something, and I still it, coach. I'm one of them coaches. I watch and I take from other coaches.
Well, first of all, you're right in line, because the coach that tells me everything he does is new, nobody does it, and he wins every game, I'm going to resign and be his assistant, because that means I'll get next to God, because there is nothing in this business that's necessarily original. You might tweak some things and use it a different way, but there is so much stuff that we pick up and use. And the bottom line is, you can have all the X and O's you want. It's the players, it's the kids breathing that you got to get out of your head into their bodies what you want. And if you can't do that, it doesn't matter what you know. But there are no secrets in this game. And people would say, well, I can't really divulge a lot of what we're doing. I usually say, so in other words, you don't know what the hell you're doing right now, right? Because there are no secrets.
I kind of take stuff from coaches all the time. But yeah, I kind of watch coaches all the time, and it kind of, whenever I think I can learn something, or I'm the smartest person, I'll probably do a Coach Brown to retire.
Well, hopefully that's not anytime soon. Here, Yogi Edwards, our guest here, the first-year head basketball coach of the Lake Taylor Titans. He's been very much involved and influential in the Norfolk community with Norfolk Titans. Our guest here on ESPN Radio 94.1. Going up from assistant to head varsity coach. It's the Virginia Wesleyan team camp. As we talk to you on ESPN Radio 94.1, 46 teams in action. Lake Taylor, one of those, and of course, big expectations again for them, coming off a state semifinal appearance. And coach, 2 seasons ago, that state championship. You got the ring with you still? You wear it much?
No, I actually don't wear the ring at all. I want to sound humble with this, but I'm trying to get another one.
Okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Only thing better than 1 is 2.
It's true. Well, or 3.
Let's get number 2 first.
Start collecting like Leon Goolsby at Norcom.
Yeah.
Hey, before we let you run, last thing for me here. guys establishing outside of Zyrell Mitchell, because he's the guy everybody's watching when you play. And you see some other guys emerge for this weekend. And what are you looking to get out of this camp? And in 2 weeks, you'll be at Norfolk State as well, correct?
Yeah, we'll be at Norfolk State coming up. We get to sit down with Joe Bryant. We can talk to the kids a little bit, so hopefully that goes well. But yeah, we got the sophomore Dejon Dawson. He coming around the corner. He was a little injured last year in the beginning, but the big kid Kyrie's Marlin. We got some other kids. We got a junior. I'm gonna kind of keep on the hush.
Okay.
Coach Brown told me you got to kind of keep our secrets, so
got
to keep that on a hush. But it's just the biggest thing for this is just playing together. Like, our kids have so many AAU kids that they don't really have a chance to play together. So we just trying to learn each other and all that good stuff.
Well, I know it's been long awaited, well-deserved for you. Congrats again on the job as Lake Taylor head basketball coach. And we'll definitely be out there. I'll be watching and evaluating your guys, and I'm sure Ed will be taking notes and trying to bring Titans to Nance River, which won't happen. So.
I was at the scope. That was a good game, coach last year.
Yeah, I need your half-court defense for a 50-foot shot. Banked in, uncalled.
Yeah, he's going to be talking junk today. Green run at 4 o'clock. Can you imagine how much he's going to say to Kenny Harris? Or how much he won't say to Kenny Harris, I guess.
Coach, you coached that thing well last year, Coach. You know, Smithfield hit one of them versus us, so I felt your pain, Coach.
And he saw that. We were there for that, and that was tough. But the next year, you guys rallied behind that and got the championship. So sometimes it can spur a team on. Yeah. Thank you so much, Coach. Best of luck this year. We'll talk soon.
Wish you the best, Yogi.
Derek Yogi Edwards, our guest here on High School Sports Talk, brought to you by VirginiaPreps.com. Big things in store for the Lake Taylor Titans under his watch as he takes over for the head coach, Kenny Brown, who was there for nearly 20 seasons and won a state championship in 2018. When we come back, we got Jeremy Jordan of the Grafton Clippers right here from the Blue Marlin team camp. Thank you to Al and Noah and Jimmy and our man back in Virginia Beach, Thomas Simmons. We got more to do, though. Keep it tuned to ESPN Radio 94.1.
Now back to High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1. Presented by VirginiaPreps.com. Here's Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
Oh, I love it. It's Baby Shark, my favorite. My niece was loving that yesterday, as I think I just flew Ed's ears out. We are back here from Virginia Wesleyan team camp.
I don't know what was worse. You either blew my ear out or that crazy Baby Shark. What, Thomas, what are you doing back in the studio?
We love Baby Shark.
Thomas usually does a top-notch job, but he played Baby Shark.
I asked him that, Baby Shark.
Oh, my God. I don't want that to get in my head.
Taking the world by storm. And someone else that knows about Baby Shark, he's our next guest. He is the head basketball coach of the Grafton Clippers. I apologize, I don't have your career record in front of me, but he's one of the best in the state and the area. Jeremy Jordan, who you can follow on Twitter at The Mortgage Man, here as Team 4-0 at the Virginia Wesleyan team camp. Coach, thank you for stopping by.
Thanks, Matt and Ed. Good morning.
Here's the first and most important question. And we'll tackle Baby Shark, too. But you were on Twitter at The Mortgage Man. Our last coach, Yogi Edwards of Lake Taylor, he's on Twitter. Trevor Dorsey of Peninsula Catholic is on Twitter. Now, you are known as The Mortgage Man, so you are very well-versed in mortgage and finances, including Coach Ed Young's.
Yes.
Give Coach Ed Young the pros and cons to why he should or should not get on Twitter.
Oh, man. I tell you, with this day and age, you know, the kids, they want to – there's so much in terms of PR for the kids and trying to get their names out there. And, you know, that's really the kind of platform that I use it for specifically, is just, you know, trying to help our guys, you know, get a layup and make a couple connections with college coaches along the way. And, you know, we've got a pretty strict Twitter and Facebook policy at Grafton, like during the season. And, you know, my thing is I better not see any tweets or anything about individual accolades after a loss. I mean, you know, this day and age, there's so much emphasis on scoring the basketball and things like that. But, you know, if we lose a basketball game, I better not see anything on, you know, individual accomplishments, because if the team doesn't win, we don't win. So, again, I don't think anybody benefits from that.
So the shortcut to that long question with the answer, should he get one, yes or no, he should not?
I think he needs one, and I think we need to add that face app picture.
You've seen that. I'm in real deep doo-doo. I'm just going to move closer to Al and away from you guys. Ed, your questions. I'm done now.
The Rick Pitino app one, that one, I take that one. Yeah. Nah, that social media stuff, I don't see a need for me personally right now to be on Twitter. You're right, Jeremy. It's good PR for the kids, contact with college coaches and that. I still do the old-fashioned way. I call people if I have somebody to sell, so to speak.
Absolutely. We
still do it. We all again, it's like winning. We all have our methods to get there. The key is to get there. And I don't begrudge anybody that's on it. Now, I will say this, and I'm with you on the social media with the kids. One of the biggest issues with kids nowadays, they think they can do whatever they want.
That's right.
Say whatever they want on social media. Don't realize those college coaches, those other people, let alone law enforcement, are watching that kind of stuff, and that can be extremely detrimental to your future endeavors.
And I've told our players this for many years now. I've never had a college coach ask me how many points a kid averages.
Good point.
And you know what? I mean, it just gets overlooked in some capacity, but with just kind of the way and the style that we play, and our kids maybe aren't going to lead the league in scoring, and we just have to accept that and embrace that, and our guys have to buy into playing a certain way, and I think that's one of the things that's made us so successful this weekend in particular is coming back from Richmond team camp and playing a lot of really good competitive teams from Northern Virginia, and it's been good to watch our growth and development over the course of the past couple weeks. So I'm really excited to finish out the summer with these guys and get going into the fall season, and then the winter grind starts.
Well, for those that haven't seen your team play, we're chatting with Jeremy Jordan, head basketball coach of the Grafton Clippers, our guest here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1, live from the 19th annual Blue Marlin basketball team camp. Tell us, A, about that style of play. I know you guys have used some pack line on defense and then the offensive principles, and then morph into some of the key guys for you, what they bring to the table. I know your backcourt last night, very impressive with Terry White and Landon Stutt leading the way.
Yeah, no question. Our staple, and Ed knows that, we've built our program around the pack line defense. For anybody that knows the game or doesn't know what pack line means, it's basically the defensive philosophy that Tony Bennett uses at Virginia. And our programs are run probably very similar in terms of, our approach to the day in and day out, activities that we do, and, the leadership things that we try to bring to the table. And, because at the end of the day, that, for a lot of these kids that are even out here today, after 4 years and, their high school careers come to an end, most of them, it's over. It's they're picking up to play an adult rec league down the road, but there's just so much more to me coaching high school basketball and than just trying to win games. We've been fortunate enough to win a ton of games in my 10 years, and we hope to continue that with year 11. And I like the makeup of our team right now, guys, and we're not going to wow you in any way, shape, or form. We don't have a tremendous amount of size. We don't have a tremendous amount of athletes. We just kind of are who we are right now, and, our team's really taken over that, the Virginia Tech football, the lunch pail philosophy, or just kind of blue-collar work ethic. And, I've been trying to instill it on our guys, over the course of the past couple weeks that in high school basketball, you can win a tremendous amount of games by just outworking and out-competing and just trying to do the little things it takes to win basketball games. And, 3 out of the 4 games have been tightly contested, and, we've been fortunate. And it's different when the season comes along, but, to beat Kellum and, beat Potomac in overtime and came from behind last night in that game, and really to beat another great Bridge team this morning, and then just beating Grassfield. So we're really happy to be 4-0 right now, and we got Cox coming up at noon, and maybe we'll try to finish 5-0 and go into the tournament tomorrow and try to make a little noise.
And Cox, the team that won a region title as recent as 2 seasons ago, got a good guard back in Jordan Lewis at the point, and Grafton not just rallying to beat the likes of Kellum and Kickton, but doing so from 12 points and 14 points down. Grafton coach Jeremy Jordan, our guest here on High School Sports Talk, brought to you by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1 from the Virginia Wesleyan team camp. And you said something very interesting, Coach, and I'm sure Ed will jump in here. And I had this discussion last night off air. We also had Keith Honore on air from Potomac, and some other coaches have discussed this about shot clock in high school basketball. And you just said it's something that really struck a chord with me. It's something I've been a proponent of because I see both sides of the argument, not to be on the fence with it. My philosophy's been not every kid's going to play college basketball. So let's not make this game college basketball, same for college basketball, the NBA. And I know Ed, I believe, is one who's in favor of keeping it as it is. But I've also heard and seen that if we have a shot clock, it could improve the level of play. My thing is, let's not do it for the purposes of this will get our kids to college, because this is high school basketball. My thing has been, let's have a study, do this in the summer with and without, show me the stats, the data that says this is what it is with, this is what it's without. What's your take on it? Does the game need a shot clock, and does it not need a shot clock? Keep it as is.
Listen, I don't think the high school game's broken. I don't think we need a shot clock. Obviously, that plays into a little bit of our advantage because we are more of a tempo-oriented team. And but I'm looking at the big picture. Now, if I'm, my buddy Coach McAloon at IMG Academy, who's a good friend of mine, and if I'm coaching high-level elite kids, in that type of setting, and it's we're at the Oak Hill Nationals, the Dick Sporting Good Nationals or something like that, or even the WCAC. I mean, there are different leagues and different levels where look, I think it's probably a good idea to have that implemented. But does every high school, single A, double A, triple A, or I guess 1 through 6A now, but do we need to implement a shot clock? I think the answer is no. I think you're going to have more bad possessions. I think you're going to have more forced shots, and again, I don't think it's broken in that capacity. I think we need to stay, right where we are right now, and like I said, maybe mix it in, the higher level you get. That's been my stance with it.
Well, as I bring that into it, I think if you put 24 or 30, that'd be a huge mistake. First of all, that's a big issue. Right. Coach Honoré was talking about it. If you did 35, that could maybe pass by because a lot of teams get a shot off within 35 seconds. But Ed, the other thing that people don't talk about is the cost of actually getting one into all the schools.
That's right.
That's something that's going to be very difficult to happen.
I think that's what people are failing to realize. It's hard for us to find people to run a regular game clock. Now you got to find somebody else to run a shot clock, understand when to reset, when not to reset, when it's touched, not touched. It's not needed. I agree with Jeremy. The shot clock is not needed at our level. That used to come into play a lot of times. Back in the day, you had a lot of low-scoring games. You might have a team that's not talented hold the ball against a team. I remember years ago in Norview, we held the ball. I think we took 17 shots, 21 shots.
Beat Hampton, right?
Beat Hampton.
Walter Brown hasn't talked to you since. No, he has talked to you since.
We beat them because we didn't have the talent they had. I had suspended 3 kids for missing an early morning practice, and we just we couldn't run with them. It would have been ridiculous. So we held the ball. I don't know how we did it, but it worked. Kids listened.
It's awesome.
And we won. But I don't think that's a need, because in high school especially, you've got to put your team in a situation. What's the best we can do to win a game?
That's right.
If it's hold the ball, you hold the ball. College and pro level, you really don't hold the ball because of shot clock. And more importantly, the pro and college level is entertainment. People or fans are paying. There's advertisers. We don't have all that in the high school. Yeah, we have fans and they're paying to watch the game.
Right.
But we don't have all these advertisers that want to speed up the game and whatever. It's not needed. I kind of agree with Jeremy, too, that you could get in a situation, kids worry about a clock and jack up shots from all over. We already have an outside game to begin with. We've eliminated the inside post. We're trying to do this open-up type basketball that was somewhat started by the Warriors, but in all technicalities, it's been started when basketball was invented. Nothing new is new. It's just recycled. But I don't think we need a shot.
No, and the thing is, like I said, if you can have statistical data that supports the argument for it, I'd be more open to it as opposed to just saying we need it. I don't know that, and doing 24 or 30, you really have people starting to rush and pay attention to it. Because really, if you just showed the actual data, most people get a shot off within 35 seconds of a possession.
That's right.
Talking with Jeremy Jordan, head basketball coach of the Grafton Clippers here on ESPN Radio 94.1. It's High School Sports Talk presented by VirginiaPreps.com. 2 more minutes left here as we have the 19th annual Blue Marlin Team Camp. A new set of games getting ready to get going here with Grafton playing Cox at noon here. Great Bridge versus Princess Anne in Court 1 and Lake Taylor Minchville Court 3. Last one because I know you got a game coming up here. What are you looking for out of this camp as you move forward into the fall and the winter? And get many multi-sport athletes on your roster at Grafton?
We don't have a tremendous amount of multi-sport kids this particular year. So we do have some kids that are, pretty much dialed in and focusing on basketball right now. The biggest thing for me is we've got 12 or 13 guys out here this weekend, and a lot of them are 8th graders and freshmen right now. So half the lineup is for the most part. So they're just on the bench. They're getting a little bit of time, but they're just on the bench, kind of learning and listening to me up and down the sideline a little bit, and watching our approach at some of our main guys, and guys like Terry White, Landon Studd, Josiah Moore, Andrew Boggs, Cole George, they're just kind of watching them get out there and compete. And I think they're learning a tremendous amount from that right now. So, for me, it's just a progression, just try to get better each and every day. And, we just got to keep continuing to play hard and trying to get better. And there's some things that we'll work out by the time we get into practice and, get behind closed doors for 2.5, 3 hours at a time. But, for now, it's just all about going out here, playing hard, playing together, and competing. And then everything else will come. So, I've never been a big proponent of wins and losses in the summer. But, having the ability to win a couple close games here this weekend, I think can, prove itself to kind of, pay some dividends, hopefully by the time the season starts. But, and how about this facility, that Coach Macedo, Coach Macedo and I have been good friends for about 14 or 15 years. I was at Randolph-Macon with Mike Rhodes at the time, so we had a lot of battles here at the fish tank, coaching against him and, seeing guys like Brandon Adair and some of those other guys coming back. And, Coach Macedo is very similar to what Coach Rhodes built at Randolph-Macon. It's a family here at Wesleyan. And I see the court's already named by, Donald Forsythe Court, but man, Coach Macedo Court is. They need to add that to the mix at some point, because everywhere you look in this gym, it's a men's basketball banner hung up on the wall, and they've had a tremendous amount of success, and Coach Macedo and his staff do it the right way, and we're very fortunate to have such a quality Division III program here locally for some of our local kids to take advantage of. So, great hospitality by Coach Macedo and the staff.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. He's done a fantastic job here. I think people don't – it's sort of like when you're watching greatness in the NFL or NBA or Major League Baseball, you're watching that Hall of Famer before your eyes. I don't think you really appreciate it until it's gone or something like that's gone. Right. And you mentioned Mike Rhodes is a good friend of ours. We've had him here on High School Sports Talk, also on the 757 at 6 weeknights here on ESPN Radio 94.1. We watched his son last night. I loved it. Yeah. At Mills Godwin, number 15.
I know. So we played at 8 o'clock, and then the 9 o'clock game was, Mills Godwin came on. So I had a front row seat, and I was actually texting Coach last night, and just how I really thought Logan was coming along, and he's going to be a really good player for Godwin for the future. So reminds me so much of when I was at Randolph-Macon, Logan was a baby. To sit in the stands and he was a little bit older than a baby, but to sit in the stands and get to watch him play high school basketball now is pretty exciting for me last night.
I wonder if he can take a charge. Ed always talks about when you were at his clinic and taking that charge. I wonder if he can take a charge like his dad.
I'm sure he can. He preaches it, that's for sure.
Well, when Mike was an assistant under Shaka at VCU, a lot of the coaches were involved in the drills. And Mike led the practice and charges taken. Unbelievable.
I love it.
And he was taking them against the college kids at 260, the big kid playing NFL football now. Mo
Ali Cox.
Yeah. Speaking of that particular story, it's our charge drill that we used to run at Randolph-Macon all the time, and that particular charge drill in the first week of practice, when we get to Saturday morning, we always practice that last Saturday in the first week of the season. That Saturday, we always get in the gym at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, by about 7:05, we do that charge drill, and very similar to Mike, I always usually take the first charge of that practice at 7:05, and it gets the guys fired up, and after. It's the sixth day of just an awfully difficult first week of the season for us. So if it gives our guys a little extra energy, then it usually makes the rest of that 3-hour practice go well.
Well, you're getting ready to tip, so thank you so much.
Thanks,
if you see Coach Jordan without a tooth, you'll know why. He took a charge, Coach.
I hope I don't lose any teeth, man. I tell you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Best of luck the rest of the weekend. Jeremy Jordan, our guest here on High School Sports Talk, brought to you by VirginiaPreps.com, as the Clippers are literally getting to tip off as we speak.
They got to hold the game up for Jeremy
down
to get down
the court here to come down the steps and lead his team. He hopes to victory over the Cox Falcons, who are very pesky. Bobby Wolf does a great job as well over there with that Virginia Beach program, as we got Cox and Grafton on court 2. We got Lake Taylor, Titan Nation out here getting ready to play on court 3 against the Mentionville Monarchs. See Lamont Struthers over there. His son Alan, I believe, is here as well. Yeah, the point guard who Old Dominion, among others, has offered. He's wearing number 5 if you come out here to see Menchville today or this weekend. And then on court 1 in front of us, Princess Anne playing. Who are they playing yet? Is it Great Bridge? Great Bridge. You'll see a good backcourt matchup here. Number 5, A.J. Walters. Number 3, that's Sterling White for Great Bridge. A couple of all-district candidates. And then for Princess Anne, the big man, Isaiah Roberts on the inside. He's got the hair, the ponytail. I think he's wearing number 50. I can't tell. And then the point guard, Kanye Clary, who's wearing, is that 55? You'll notice him, though. He has a very talented point guard who's a rising sophomore from Princess Anne, a second-team All-Region player, and Zay Roberts, a guy that's been a football, basketball standout for PA, playing in the post, had that double-double in their close regional playoff loss to Green Run. So you'll see plenty of talent, some next-level guys here on the floor throughout the day and the weekend at Virginia Wesleyan Team Camp. Who do you play, Coach Young? I know we mentioned earlier you got Green Run at 4 o'clock. You have Thomas Edison, I think, on tap as well.
7 o'clock we play, and 9 o'clock, whoever they are.
So if you want to see Coach Young's Warriors, Court 3, 4 o'clock against Green Run. Court 3, 7 o'clock against Thomas Edison out of Alexandria. Oh, by the way, Jared Clausen, watch out for him wearing number 1. He dropped 7 3-pointers in our Virginia Preps Classic last year with 36 points. Nearly a event record, the second most all-time in the 12-year history of the event. And then your 9 o'clock game against Coach Rhodes' son and Mills Godwin, led by Jacob Oliver, who coached a couple years back at Meadowbrook High School as well. And, folks, if they go 3-0, Ed Young's buying. So you get that Noah, you get that Al, Ed Young's buying. Free food for everybody if they go 3-0, because he always says, winner buys.
You got to go 3-0, and then I will treat anybody that comes.
Anybody that comes to Virginia Wesleyan. So find him if they win all 3 games, and at 9 o'clock, they'll form a little line right here outside the concession stand, and he'll have to buy everybody Snickers bars, candy bars, soda, pizza.
Now there's got to be a limit.
You get that, Thomas. If you come out here at 9, if he's 3-0, now if they lose the first game, you still come by, but you can forget about Ed Young buying anything. I mean, he's so cheap, he won't buy you much anyway. You have to put his feet to the fire with something like this anyway. So,
yeah, I don't know. 3-0, I'm buying.
3-0, you're buying. Whew, what do I want? I got to see. What do I want? I'm hungry. We got like 60 seconds left, if that, Ed. Anything else on your mind here this weekend before we say toodaloo?
No. Like I said, people out there that want to see some basketball, this is the time to come and see it. A lot of teams from all different areas, a lot of younger kids. They're not charging admission, are they?
No, it's free.
It's free to see all this basketball action. It's free. Stop in a little bit. Maybe just stay, watch one set of games. You can see 3 games at a time right here. And I'm telling you, there's a ton of teams here that will be in the playoffs. And I'm going to make this prediction.
Oh, no. That better not be about weather.
No, it's going to be sunny today. But in this team camp right now, we have 2 teams that will be playing for a state championship in their respective areas.
Playing for a state championship?
Yeah, I'm not going to say they'll automatically win.
That's not a bold declaration like winning a state championship.
Well, one of the 2 will win. How about that? I have my thinking who it is, too.
You have your thinking? Can you give me a hint what division you're thinking?
Nope. My sources are close to me.
Your sources are close to you?
Yep.
All right, well, that's going to do it for High School Sports Talk. We thank all our guests this morning, Jeremy Jordan of the Grafton Clippers, Derek Yogi Edwards from the Lake Taylor Titans, Trevor Dorsey of the Peninsula Catholic Knights. Can't forget about head coach Dave Macedo of the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins as well. And Tommy Riemann, you heard the playback with him from Lansdowne High, head football coach in Virginia Beach. If you missed any of this show, you can find it in the coming days on VirginiaPreps.com. Go to the replay section, and if you missed any of the 757 at 6 last night, it's on our ESPN Radio 941.com podcast page with Dwight Robinson of Lansdowne Basketball and Keith Honore of Potomac. As always, you can find us on Twitter, too, at HS Sports Talk 941, HS Sports Talk 941. I want to thank all the hard-working people behind the scenes, from Thomas in our Virginia Beach studios to Noah and Al and Jimmy. I'm Matt Hatfield. You, sir, are?
I'm the coach, Ed Young.
Can you believe next weekend will be August?
Oh, my God. That tells me school is on the way.
It is on the way. Summer is nearing a conclusion, so enjoy it while it lasts. The last few weeks of summer, we got football coming, too. That'll do it for High School Sports Talk. Thanks for listening to your home for sport throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia. It is ESPN Radio 94.1.